So, hi, I'm Jesper. I am CTO at Monta. Monta is a charge point management system, a SaaS system that helps companies that manage a lot of charging stations out in the world. The IoT devices out there connect into our backend, and we can manage them remotely. Starting a charge, stopping a charge, managing power, but then also managing payments. So it's a nice, interesting mix because on one hand, you have a fairly high uptime requirement. Like whenever we are down, our customers, they just lose hundreds of thousands of euros per hour we are down. But from a compliance perspective, we are in 3 different industries at the same time. So on one hand, we are in the financial services sector, heavily regulated. We're also in the energy mid sector, also heavily regulated. Tons of rules there as well. And then EV charging as an industry is super new, super unregulated. Lots of startups, lots of business models. Nobody really knows what's right and wrong. And it gives us some fairly unique challenges. Of course, the main thing I think we are using the DoiT product for is managing costs. So basically scaling our infrastructure costs as a function of usage and assets on our platform. And then also the dashboarding solutions, so alerts and observability on that. Like if you book, let's say, R&D and COGS financially, you have to split that, and that's not super easy to do in a complicated cloud environment with multiple accounts, and maybe some of them are production, some of them are testing, but there is also the gray zone. And then when you do reservations on top, then the gray zones becomes even worse, right? Some of it is discovery, like, okay, so let's say we run a cycle of cost optimizations on our platform and say, okay, how can we run more lean? There's sort of 2 steps to that. One is to build dashboards to discover where maybe there is overuse. Then there's the second phase where you implement the improvement. It could be auto-scaling, it could be niches, it could be optimizations of some databases, it could be traffic patterns, right? We would then go back into the DoiT suite and then verify that those savings actually worked, right? So sort of seeing the impact of our actions. The extra amount of clarity or data insight you can get on that can also be used as a leadership tool. So for me as a leader, very often if I want some attention on something in an engineering organization, engineers don't take your word for it, right? But if you have some data to prove that this looks weird, you can spark curiosity, and that's way better leadership tool than anything else, right? I would say the interaction speed has been really good, right? So if there is a problem or if there is something that is off somehow, especially around the more sort of deep end of cost management on AWS, it's quite a deep field actually. you should imagine. Those conversations has been both super responsive, but also it's been very much like a collaboration where we're discussing what are the potential solutions here. So having somebody to talk to about these topics that are sort of very specific and niche, right? We have maybe 2 or 3 people in Monta that knows about this stuff. I'm one of them, right? But then I have a couple of leaders in the SRE space. So having somebody to bounce ideas against in that space is very useful.